morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. And welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. Good to see you, Kitsy C. Good to see you, Britt. And Britt, congratulations on claiming the crown of Firstendom. But you said it is one of ads, so I suppose it's a very sponsored crown, so it's probably covered in labels and things. But it's still your crown of Firstendom. But also thank you to Ket for gifting her a sub. Hope everyone's having a good day. We're going to be diving into some Humongous entertainment games. These hold a very special place in my heart. Heavy as the crown indeed. It says so in the Redeem, I think, even. But these hold a special place in my heart. So we're going to be playing them. So today we're going to do some Putt-Putt. I think next week is Friday, and then the week after that is Pajama Sam. So we'll be doing those. But unlike last year, so if you were around last year, we did this, and I forgot how short the games were. So each week I was like, that was 55 minutes. What do we do now? So this time I have 2 of each game. So we'll have fun. Also, I have drawn the winners for the giveaway, but I'll be announcing that later in the stream. So we'll be doing that probably when we switch. About integrals and derivatives. I do actually love doing integrals and derivatives. I still sometimes do them in the margins of notes when I'm bored. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's dive on in. Oh, whoops.
Fill your tank, get in step, check your tires, and go get gas. You got to save the zoo.
Is that the Lego Titanic? Yeah, it is. It took me almost 20 hours to put together.
Good morning, Mr. Baldini. Today's the opening of the Cartown Zoo.
I know, Putt-Putt. It's a bigger day. How would you and a Pepper like to take some zoo chow over there before they open?
What is this accent?
Would we ever, Mr. Baldini?
Wonderful. Here you go. Now you make sure that you give it to Outback Al, the new zookeeper.
Don't worry. You can always count on me.
Good luck, Putt-Putt.
Good to see you, Britt. Yep. Let the busy fox begin.
It says Baldini's grocery store.
Almost everything can be clicked on. Almost nothing is useful. These games are a delight.
Hey! It's a billboard for the Cartown Zoo. It can't be far now.
How big is Cartown? We have no frame of reference, Putt-Putt. But why do I know this so deeply within my soul? Maybe you played a different Putt-Putt game? There were like 8. Why is this screen even here? There's nothing to be gained. I've already fallen off the
Wow!
top
The
100 leaderboard for
Cartown
speedruns.
Zoo!
Dang it!
This looks great!
I knew I should have pressed the random things like the tulips. No, Putt-Putt!
We are the topiary creatures. We're very pleased to meet you, senors and senoritas too. The animals we feature. You know what never eats.
What accent are these hedges supposed to have? Why are the hedges singing?
The zoo, with the kangaroos, roos, and the tigers too. Welcome to the zoo.
You really want the Concorde? Yeah.
Show them self-reliance. Come
pretty
in and
sad.
see our clients.
I only have so much space, though, and so much money.
You'll learn about the lions in advertising tie-ins.
And maybe learn some science back.
Welcome to the...
I like that they're upfront about that this game has advertisements in it. They're no shame. Like, yeah, we're gonna advertise our other stuff. He'll deal with it. Gorilla Lisa? I think you only meet like 3 of these things. That's why I don't have those. That's valid.
I haven't written this verse yet, but I will write it, and it will sound much better than when we had a wet. Welcome to the zoo, zoo, with the kangaroos, roos, and the tigers.
Any percent. 31 seconds, 317 milliseconds. Oh my goodness. That's...
Hello, Outback Al? It's me, Putt-Putt. I'm here to deliver some
The fact that it has
zoo
to be
chow.
measured in milliseconds. Did you just say sever my leg?
Is this ever gonna be fun? Hi, Outback Al. I brought you some zoo chow.
Thank you,
Because all
matey.
animals eat one food.
You know, I'm glad you showed up. It's been quite a morning, all right. What with the zoo opening today, I've so much to fix. Bridges, boats, the works. But the worst of it is that some of the baby animals are missing.
Not the
Can't
baby
find them
animals.
anywhere.
Hey, I can look for the missing baby animals while you take care of the stuff that needs fixing.
Jackaroo, you're
Invisalign.
on. Of course, we can't open the zoo until they're all rescued, so I'm counting on you, Putt-Putt. Here, this should help you out. It's a list of everyone who's missing.
Baby Jumbo the elephant, Masai the giraffe, Kenya the lion cub, Zanzibar the hippopotamus, Sammy Seal, and Little Skeeter the snake. I'll find them for you.
His
Good
name
day
seemed a little
and
too on the
good
nose.
luck, Putt-Putt. Well, I'm off to fix up the place.
See you later, Outback Al.
Anyway, Sub-Zero, here is your father joke. What did Sushi A say to Sushi B? Wasabi. Shout out to our seminarian who taught me that one this morning. Hey, my kids used to play these games. What a coincidence. And also for the Rotida, today's 2 readings. You know, the thing I really like about seasons outside of Ordinary Time is the first reading and the gospel are often very tied together. And the gospel is Jesus saying, hey, you know, build your house on a solid foundation by listening to me. And the first reading is about building up the city of Jerusalem. And it's a reminder together that we build up the city of God, we build up the city, the heavenly Jerusalem here on earth. And that is, yes, an act of individuals, and we need to take care of our own growth and our own foundations, but also communally. So it's never just Jesus and me.
Hi, Putt-Putt.
Hi, Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon is his name.
I'll have some cotton candy, please.
On the double. Here you are.
Thanks. I'll have some cotton candy, please.
On the double. Here you are.
Thanks.
The cross-eyed face Putt-Putt makes.
I'll have some cheese squigglies, please.
Excellent choice. Here you go. And you don't have to pay me a thing.
Any particular reason, or you
I'll
just
have some
you
hot
feel like
cocoa,
it?
please.
Good choice, Putt-Putt. I'll get it right away.
Who serves hot cocoa at the opening of a zoo in the middle of summer?
Here you go.
Cotton
And it's
candy
on the
percent
house.
speed run.
Thanks. Ooh, that's hot. I think I'll save it for later.
I have exhausted all your food items. You are of no use to me. Oh, look, merchandise. Ah, free camera.
Well, if it isn't Putt-Putt, it's going to be quite a day. I can't wait until the zoo opens.
This is mildly
I'll have so
horrifying.
many
They're
fine
selling
gift
stuff
items to
out
sell.
of their
Gorilla salt and
sides.
pepper shakers, souvenir hubcaps, even free cameras.
Cool cameras, Patty.
Take it, Putt-Putt. The cameras are free, one per customer. After all, it's opening day.
Thanks, Patty.
I think if you gave away everything on opening day, you'd go out of business, but what do I know? Give you Godzilla vibes. Early Godzilla. Oh. What way are we going, chat? Arctic land, grasslands, or jungle land? Where are you heading first? As they say in the fork knives, where we dropping, boys? Got one vote for Arctic. Any other votes? Another vote for Arctics? Grasslands does not look at all like Jurassic Park. Not at all. Okay, well that is a vote for Arctics then.
Hey, there's a rope inside. This could come in handy. I think I'll
Head to the
borrow
attic?
it.
Sure.
Brrr. Arctic land is sure cold. Look at all that snow up there. It looks dangerous. We better be quiet.
This is a
Pat,
very
or
immersive
we
zoo.
might cause an avalanche. That was a close one. Achoo! Phew.
I don't think I have enough hot cocoa to
Oh my
melt all that,
goodness.
but
That avalanche almost got us.
also, why would you
Now
open a
how are we
zoo
gonna
that
get
has a
through?
hazard like that could literally destroy your
That hot
patrons?
cocoa might melt the snow, but I don't have enough to melt all of it.
I just said that, Putt-Putt. Okay, well, jungle land it is.
Hey there, little buddy. That looked like fun.
When did I start playing
This
Pitfall?
looks pretty secure. Whee! That was fun.
I don't think this zoo is OSHA approved.
There's a toolbox in there. I'll bet Outback Al wouldn't mind a bit if I borrowed these. You never know when they might come in handy.
Putt-Putt, you little klepto.
Let's rhyme. I know. How about power? I got it.
Take it.
Elephants have the power in the bathing hour to give their friends a shower.
What, you don't think the 5-year-olds playing this game won't understand beatnik monkeys as a joke? You think that humor's gonna go right over their heads?
Are you Masai? I sure am, and am I ever in trouble? I got stuck over here, and the drawbridge won't close. There's a giant rock in the way, and it's too heavy to move by myself. I can't believe my dumb luck. Well, maybe I can help.
Why don't you
if
walk through the water?
would,
You've got long
I'd
legs.
be the happiest little giraffe in the world. I miss my mommy. I don't think I can move the boulder with that.
It's called leverage, Putt-Putt. Click the flowers. They've become tiki heads. It's a little giraffe. Still a giraffe.
Oh, where is my baby?
Now we can find out all about boa constrictors.
Boa constrictors live in Central America and South America.
That's it? You put an entire speaker box just for that?
Baby comes home soon.
Wow. I wonder how I can get up that river.
There are
I
12
sure
Putt-Putt
can't
games.
swim.
Yeah, they were very good at manufacturing them.
Whee!
Some have strange titles. Define strange.
I can't go. There's a log in the road.
It's a shame you can't
Hooray!
pick up the
Now
log.
the road is clear and I can explore the grassland. Wow. I can see all of the grassland. It's beautiful.
Why is it so massive? How much property does the zoo have? Where is Cartown that there's nothing surrounding it that they can build a zoo like this?
I hope my little girl comes home soon. I'm so worried about her.
Hey kid, he'll need this in future, so we're gonna force you to pick it up. Well, fair enough. Putt-Putt and Fatty Bear's activity pack, Putt-Putt and Pep Dogs on a stick.
Oh, Masai.
I don't know,
How I miss my Masai.
It was the word fatty. It thought it was an insult. Fatty Bear is another series made by Humongous Entertainment, and the activity packs are basically just the mini games from these. So
Now we can find out all about giraffes.
In the wild, giraffes live on the continent of Africa.
fair enough.
Oh, my poor baby cubby.
Why do they have crowns?
Great! Now we can find out all about lions.
In the wild, most lions live on the continent of Africa.
Am I skipping the backgrounds? No? They're right there.
Kenya. Dear Kenya.
I'm not gonna
Where
click
can
on
she-
everything, Kit.
Somebody save me!
Rulers of the savannah? Sure.
It's Baby
Also,
Jumbo.
why are lions called king of the jungle if they don't live in a jungle?
Me. I'm under attack by a giant mouse. A giant mouse? Yeah, he jumped out and scared me. Can you save me? Please. I'll try. Move, mousy, mousy, mousy. Go on, shoo.
Okay, I know you're not supposed to feed the wildlife, but mice
Oh,
like cheese
well,
and we have
I guess
cheese
I'm
doodles.
just gonna have to find some other way to get that mouse to move. Well, hurry as fast as lightning.
Mouse, I will
Fetch,
bribe you.
little mousy. I mean, giant scary mousy.
Why are they so flexible? I have a heckin' concern.
Oh, thanks, Putt-Putt. You're my hero. Oh, gosh, Baby Jumbo. It was nothing. Now you better hurry home to your mama. Mama? Mama! Mama!
I forgot I had a
Baby Jumbo's
mother.
coming home. There are 5 more animals to rescue before
Soggy
the zoo
cheese
can open.
fries.
This shovel might come in handy. I think I'll borrow it.
Well, we can repaint Putt-Putt if we want, but why would we want to? Hexcode purple is the best color. Why? Why did it have a sign that said "This is not funny"? Did you really expect 5-year-olds to understand meta humor?
Hey, you with the white walls. How's about a game of animal tag?
Oh yeah.
All
Get ready for
right.
some sound effects. Oh, you are not ready for this.
Why don't you pick a level to start at?
Hard.
Wow! You're not messing around, are you? Try and
I'm here
get
to win.
8 rhinos, and 6 peacocks, and 6 zebras.
Hey, you got me. Hey, you got me.
Tells you were not ready for these sound effects.
Hey, you got me. Hey, you got me. Hey, you got me. Hey, you got me.
Great job, kid! Now, look out for 8 flamingos, and 8 cheetahs, and 6 gazelles.
So this is good sound design. Hey, Tony. Yes. Between the pink flamingos and the rhinos, what more would you want in life when it comes to your Foley? The rhinos are wild. I should hope so. They're rhinos. Yeah, can you incorporate cheetahs losing their
Awesome
spots into
job
Goth
you're doing
3.0? Just
there.
like, I'm thinking maybe after the rooting round.
Now, look out for 8 rhinos, and 8 gazelles, and 7 cheetahs.
Okay, we're leaving.
You sure you gotta go?
Yes.
See you around, kid.
Had to get those side effects in
I'm
there.
not as scared of mice anymore. Great! We can find. Well, maybe I am a little.
In the wild, African elephants live on the continent of Africa.
You get nothing from that? Yeah, that's
If only I could swim home.
that's how Putt-Putt works. That's how Humongous Entertainment games work. It's a busy box. Huh, which shape was it? I don't know, chat. What do I do with this? What do I do with this wrench? I don't know.
It's this! Get ready, Sammy! You're going swimming!
Throw it off the cliff.
Yeah!
Yeet.
I'm flipping out a flapping! This is
That's right, it goes in the square
Hurry
bowl.
home, Sammy Seal! And good
And the
luck!
triangle, that's right. It goes in the square hole too. And the column?
There are 4
It goes
more
in the
animals
square
that
hole.
need my help.
Immediately thought Hexen was confused there.
It's good to have you home, baby Jumbo.
These games are best if you don't think about them too much. Great animations, though.
Great! Now I can keep on driving. This I can't wait. I keep dreaming about blankets and hot sun. I'm tired of being cold. You must be little Skeeter. I am, and I'm so cold I can't wiggle an inch. I need something to warm me up. Can you help me, little car? My name's Putt-Putt, and I'll do my best.
Snakes can endure the cold.
Thanks,
They just brumate.
Putt-Putt. Here you go. Hot cocoa. Thanks, Putt-Putt. I feel much better.
Also, Putt-Putt
I'm
took the
going
cup
to
back, but the
slither
cup is no
home to
longer
my
in our
mama.
inventory.
Bye-bye.
Which leads me to the
Bye,
conclusion
little
that Putt-Putt
Skeeter.
litters.
I hope I can rescue 3 more animals.
I hope so too. Are there polar bears playing hockey in the background? Why am I asking questions? Oh,
Here comes the puck.
you ready for another game that does nothing, Beer Fox?
Missed water shot.
Get me out of here. All these animals have parents, but where are Putt-Putt's parents? Cars don't have parents. Chocolate cup goes to the square hole. Animals have parents because that's how animals reproduce. Cars are made in a factory.
Maybe if I move these icebergs around a little bit, I can make a path to the shore.
Okay, chat, this is really where we are asking the question. Does the square block go in the square hole? Hey, Jimothy, good to see ya. I think these are the perfect games to play for Throwback Thursday in December leading up to Christmas. Some good old nostalgia. Also, this is a metaphor right here. You may not realize it, but this is a metaphor for work in the American world. There's one person. There's one person doing work, and everyone else is watching.
My feet are freezing.
If that isn't the modern working space, I don't know what is.
Come on, Zanzibar. Don't be scared. Scared? I'm not scared. Here goes nothing.
You sure about
I'll
that?
make my pop proud. Whoa!
Are you the person who works, or are you the one
Ah!
person who watches? I think I'm doing the work right now, and you're the one watching. But when you're the one streaming, I'm the one watching, and you're the one working? Yes.
Thanks a ton, Putt-Putt. Now I can go home to my pop. Don't mention it. Have a great day. 2 more animals still need my help.
Arctic Hippo? Yeah, that's my Arctic Monkeys cover band.
Oh,
Hi, Sammy. Hello, Putt-Putt. Mommy, Daddy. It's Putt-Putt.
oh, Putt-Putt, we're so grateful you saved our Sammy.
Yes, we missed her so. Thank you.
You're welcome. That will tell us all about seals.
There are over 30 different kinds of seals, and they live in oceans all over the world.
It's a lot of seals. seems irresponsible to have A, that kind of slide, and B, to let your patrons on it.
Smile.
That's right. There's this. I had forgotten about that until just now. The minigame to just get the random pictures of all the animals.
Great shot.
What kind of single-use camera makes Polaroids?
Chitorito, I was so sad without you.
I would laugh if habitat location was the only fact those speakers said.
Boas prefer to live in the dampness of the rainforest. Because boas are slow-moving snakes, they only need to eat about 1 meal a week.
They do, in fact, add more, but...
There! The raft is fixed.
How did you
Now
do that?
Pep and I can go safe. Hot ziggity! This is fun!
Rapids? That seems like a bad idea.
Hello down there. Hello up there.
Rubber bands.
Are you Kenya the lion cub? I sure am. Can you help me out here? I'm stuck up on the rock. Can you jump? Not into the water.
Oh, where? Whoa, she is
swim.
clipping
Then
away.
we're just going to have to figure out another way to help you. Oh, you don't know how
Can I have some
happy
slow
that
bits?
would make me.
Only in geometry
How
class.
am I gonna get down? Sure is dark in there.
You're a car. You have headlights. Is this a Mufasa reference?
Okay, Masai. Get ready to help. You got it.
They're also similar.
That was the
How was
best
the rock-
fun ever. Now I just need to close the drawbridge.
It's a shame you don't have some sort of... I think it's supposed to be his antenna, but he just has this thing that can, like, extend out. And it's just, It's a Freddy Fish reference.
Maybe this will do the trick.
Oh boy,
Yes,
string to
I
play
got
with.
it. Can you climb it?
The vibes in art. Yeah, I think particularly just because you're limited.
You made it. I sure
in the era.
did.
Lots of things kind of look the same after a while.
Thanks for saving me. Say, I didn't catch your name. Putt-Putt. Thanks, Putt-Putt. You're welcome. Bye,
You know, Putt-Putt,
Kenya.
a real hero,
I
does
still
this
need to
anonymously.
rescue one more animal so the zoo can open.
Okay, hold on. At the other end of this cave is where we found the giraffe. Why can't the giraffe just walk through that way and get back to the savannah? The same place the lion just went. Hey, Bad Roxy, good to see you. Your immersion is ruined. Oh, I've got some bad news. You did miss the rotunda. But the TLDR version is that it's never just us and Jesus. We do work on our own personal relationship, but we also build up the church as a community. Rapids. It's Grand Rapids, which is never. It's neither grand nor rapid.
Woo! Woo!
This seems like a terrible idea. How did I go up?
It's nice and warm here in Jungle Land.
I know you're trapped, but let me take a
Smile.
photo of your sadness.
You did it, Putt-Putt! I'm so excited! Thanks a bunch for
Ah, the
helping
famous
me,
Escher
Putt-Putt.
rabbits, indeed.
Now I can go see my mommy. I'm glad everything turned out okay, Masai. You be careful going home. I will. I rescued all of the missing animals. I'd better
I'm
go
sorry,
tell
Brett. Yeah, you
Outback
did miss
Al.
the Rotata. I'll give
Hey,
the TLDR again.
Outback
It's
Al. I rescued all the lost baby
building up our
animals.
personal relationships, yes, but also building up the
Terrific.
community
Putt-Putt,
relationships
you
with Christ.
saved the zoo. I can't thank you enough. Follow me. Welcome, mates, to the grand opening of the Cartown Zoo. Today, I've got someone very special with me. And we
Who?
never could have opened the place
Is it
without
talking
him.
topiary?
Thanks to Putt-Putt's courage and bravery, we're going to give him this Junior Zookeeper Award.
Why
Here
didn't you just
go
have that on
for
you?
a job well done.
Thanks, Outback Al. I was glad to help.
Now, Putt-Putt, how about doing the honors and cutting the ribbon?
You bet.
You're trusting a child with a giant pair of scissors.
Enjoy the zoo, Putt-Putt. It's going to be a grand day.
Hot ziggity.
Would it be filling a
sure
zoo full
is,
of
Outback
cars that
Al.
are producing waste from the combustion be a bad idea for the health of the animals? No, I want to see the picture I didn't get. Oh, it's giving me the pictures anyway. Wait, that's not the medal I received. The medal I received a ribbon. Oh, there's Fatty Bear. Ours are good. Why would we have so many of them otherwise? I wonder if any of those child actors
Are you sure you want to
continued
quit?
acting and what they got up to. Also, I like that it's like when you're done, it's like, boop, go away. Let me set up the next one. Next, we're going through time. But before we go through time, we have some winners to announce. So first of all, thank you to everyone who is a part of this stream, part of this community, building it up. And a special thank you to everyone who donated on Giving Tuesday. Know that your gifts are tripled, so they have a huge impact on us and what we do here at Busted Halo, including this stream. So super thankful for that. So what was I going to say? Right. First, I'm going to announce the second place winners. There's two of them. They will be winning a Busted Halo sticker and a Let Us Play sticker and a thank you letter. And those will be going to, I have no drum roll sound effect because I couldn't find any I liked. Congratulations to Catholic Brit and Mel T. Gray. Had to remember official usernames. Stickers? Yeah. They're nice high quality stickers. I really like mine because it's like a nice vinyl sticker. So it looks a little rough around the edges, but that's just the paper from where it was die cut. But no, that's for a bad joke. But the first place winner, who will be getting a Busted Halo ornament, the stickers, Redemption Booster Pack, and a signed copy of Hook, signed by me, I should specify. The Busted Halo is a nice file. Yeah, it's a good quality sticker. It's the same company when you order through our store for both of them. Anyway, though, the grand prize winner is going to be K-Max. Congrats to you, K-Max. I don't know if you're lurking or not right now, but I'll be in touch with all of you about sending that off. Please be patient, though. I'm traveling to LA tomorrow morning, so I probably won't be able to get to it until next week. So, hopefully they should be there before Christmas, but, just be patient. I promise I'm working on it, but life happens. So again, and thank you to everyone who participated and donated. So let's go ahead. Let's go travel through time with Putt-Putt.
Pep, I promised Mr. Firebird we'd come over this morning so I could show him my history report.
Last time you spoke to Mr. Firebird, he sent you to the moon.
My calculator, and my Smokey the Fire Engine lunchbox.
Time. I could go to the moon. It's quite easy to get to the moon in Kerbal Space Program. Conspicuous nickel.
Here's my coin. I better not leave home without it.
That's your life savings right there?
That's my history report. Come on, Pep. Let's go see Mr. Firebird.
Again, why are you speaking to Mr. Firebird? Last time it ended very poorly.
Here we are, Pep. It's Mr. Firebird's workshop.
I like the fireworks factory sign crossed out with wood planks. Just
It
to
says
really communicate.
Firebird's Lab.
Pontiac Firebirds are fun, though. Yeah?
Let's go find our friend, Mr. Firebird.
Don't make fun of Putt-Putt for not having a life savings. I'm also technically equity negative. Okay, there's technically
Hi,
equity
Mr.
negative, and all you
Firebird.
have is a nickel.
Welcome,
These are
Putt-Putt.
two very different things. You have a mortgage.
I was just putting the finishing touches on my time portal.
Wow! A real time portal? Where can you go in it, Mr. Firebird?
Nowhere at all. I don't think. You see, it's not meant for actual travel, but it gives you a way to see into the past and the future through the time portal. Like a TV set, only what you're seeing is real.
Wow, that's neat!
As a matter of fact, I was just about to fire it up for the very first time. Here, I'll show you.
Great! and then I can show you my history report and my new school supplies.
Unload everything right there, I guess. What?
Oh, what was I thinking? I need a coin to start the washing machine. Guess I'm fresh out.
Hey, I think I've got something that will solve the problem.
Why does your time viewing machine need a washing machine to power it? I have many questions, Mr. Firebird. I'm not upset, I'm just concerned.
I can't wait to get a hold of that coin. I'll finally get to see if all my hard work is paid off.
What a schlub to clean up the past. Aha!
Here's a coin, Mr. Firebird.
So there's a popular theory that this happens in a
is not mere
post-apocalyptic
coin,
world, and that's why we
Putt-Putt.
never
It
see
is the
humans.
key to great knowledge. The washing machine is providing the perfect ratio between the inverted subspace bubble frequency, the molecular torque, and the spin cycle. Holy gas can! This shouldn't be happening!
Help! No!
This is not
Bye,
good at all,
Pep.
Putt-Putt. My calculations show that until everything is brought back to the present time, I won't be able to shut the portal.
Don't worry, Mr.
Oh, no, we're
Firebird.
messing with the time
I'll go
stream.
in and find everything.
Once you find all your things, we can close this time portal for good.
Why did you open it in the first place?
You be careful, Putt-Putt, and good luck!
Wow! It's like a science fiction movie,
Doc
except
saved the
I
hope.
have a feeling that this is reality. These must be the 4 places where Pep and all my things landed. I wonder where I should go first.
What are you strange timekeeping devices?
Looking around in the time continuum.
What things have always been
1, 2, 3, 4.
I should have expected a song.
To places in time for you. That's where you'll find Pep. And my homework?
We feeling sad that your homework is gone and everything's wrong, but it won't be for long.
The mixing on these voices is really quiet.
Doesn't stop because it goes on forever.
Goes on forever?
You'll see the old west
And visit a king.
and see dinosaurs.
And really neat future things.
When you return, you'll know what you'll learn.
Pay close attention. Stay on your mission.
To see new dimensions.
And when you look up,
you'll know that
time doesn't stop.
because it goes on forever with you.
I'm entirely too sober for this. All right, so we have our options. We can leave. It looks like we have the future, Wild West, Medieval Kingdom, and Prehistoric Path. Needs more musical segments. That's what made Alan Wake 2 good. Did Alan Wake 2 have musical segments? I forget Alan Wake 2 even exists, to be honest. I'm feeling medieval.
I must be in the medieval times. It's a square rock.
A square rock? I wonder what hole it could go in. Putt-Putt, that's not a rock, that's a brick.
Woodward, you're heavy. Excuse me, do you need some help?
Ma, you are certainly the fancy carriage.
I'm not a carriage exactly. I'm a car from the future. My name's Putt-Putt.
I'm very happy to meet you, Putt-Putt. I'm Princess Chassie, and this is my best friend and loyal subject, Woodward. We have been out collecting wood
I'm sorry,
for
her name is
breakfast
Chassie.
when a horrible rainstorm hit.
And also,
We were
she's like, this is
talking
my
about
friend and loyal subject.
when I hit a bump and my wheel fell
I think
right
if he
off
was
in the
your
middle
friend,
of the
you
road.
probably wouldn't say
well,
that
maybe
second
I
part
can
out
help
loud.
You figure out a way to
Even
get
if it's
that
true.
wheel back on.
That would be wonderful, Putt-Putt.
Now I
What's a
wonder
time
how
continuum?
we should do this.
That's always existed.
Okay, Princess Chassie, here's the plan. You lift up your friend Woodward, and I'll slip on his wheel.
It would be my pleasure.
Oh my goodness gracious sakes. Good thanks to both of you. You're welcome.
Now I must hurry back to the castle. My father, King Chariot, is expecting me for story time.
And I
King
have to
Chariot
return
and
to
his
the
daughter,
blacksmith's
Princess
firewood.
Chassie.
Perhaps we'll see you later, Putt-Putt.
Bye.
Oh, your goodness gracious indeed.
Wow, this is some castle.
Yes, it is. Only the rains have rusted the gates shut.
We need something to help loosen them up. That's what I think. Maybe I can find something that would work.
That would be
I'll hit it with a
wonderful,
brick.
Putt-Putt.
It's a square-shaped rock.
Apparently brick is not the answer. I feel cheated.
It's a square...
We could go back to prehistoric land and get a dinosaur and just wait for it to turn into oil, I guess.
Wowie zow! It's a triangular rock.
I'm sensing a theme. What do you mean I can only carry one?
It says... A rope! This might come in handy.
Ah, the kleptomania begins. You only get one rock.
Look at that huge
You to your
pile of
future
hay.
child on a hike.
Hay is usually for horses, but if it pleases you, help yourself.
Thanks. It might come in handy. You never know.
Why don't you take the pitchfork?
Howdy do, little buddy. You new in town?
I'm Putt-Putt. I'm visiting from Cartown, far in the future.
Well, dang-a-lang-a-ding-dong. That is something, ain't it? I'm Virgil Clyde.
Dang-a-lang-a-ding-dong. That's gonna be the password to the first Let Us Play con. Can't get in unless you say dang-a-lang-a-ding-dong.
That don't beat all.
I'd like some chewy, fruity wagon wheels, please.
It'll cost you a nickel.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just
I
have to
spent
come
my
back
nickel
when
to
I
get
have
here.
one.
She is really bad at playing memory. Junior conductor needed a nickel.
It says, junior conductor needed, 5 cents.
Hey, Sonny, you didn't show up a moment too soon. I'm looking to hire me a junior conductor. Pique your interest, son. Job pays a nickel.
Sure, what do I
whole
have to
nickel?
do?
For starters, you can oil me up. Why, I'm as dry as a creek bed in Indian summer.
I don't think you're allowed to say that
It's
anymore.
an oil can.
A little on the wheels will do nicely. By the way, my name is Tobias T. Train. But you can call me
Doesn't
Toby.
India have monsoons in the summer?
Oh, much better. 1,000 thanks, amigo.
You're welcome, Toby.
Say, I didn't catch your name.
My name's Putt-Putt.
Well,
You didn't want
Putt-Putt,
to
my partner,
interview me
so
before you
far
hired
you've
me?
made a mighty fine junior conductor. Here's your pay. 1 round nickel.
Oh, good. I was worried you'd pay me in a
Toby.
square
And
nickel.
you hang on to that oil can. After all, now you're my official junior conductor.
Thanks. Anything else I can do for you, Toby?
As a matter of fact, there is. I'm fresh out of water. And for the life of me, I can't reach that spigot way up there on that water tower. How's about putting that noggin to work and finding something you can use to pull down that lever so you can fill me up?
I'll bet I can do that. Toby, I found a rope, and I think it's just the thing to do the trick.
I thought you'd be the kind of cowpoke who'd be handy with a rope trick.
Who wrote this?
Now I'm officially in business thanks to you, Mr. Junior Conductor. Anytime you want to take a ride around the tracks, just hop on my flat car. I'll give you a ride you won't soon forget.
Thanks, Toby. I'm sure I'll take you up on it. It sounds like fun.
The 90s were a different time. They were indeed, Squirrel. Good to see you. Let's take a ride. Let's see.
Well, Buckaroo, where do you want old Toby to take you? Gold River, here we come.
Oh, good. There's a crazy prospector.
Ooh, my wheels and whiskers.
Excuse me. Hello?
Well, howdy, young'un. Don't mind me. I'm panning for gold.
Wow. There's really gold in that river?
What's that you say? You want to know if I'm so cold I shiver? Nah, not me.
I have a funny feeling that prospector didn't hear a word I said.
Well, looky here. Dang blamit. It's just a bunch of old rusty keys.
Okay, I'll take
Excuse
those.
me. Do you mind if I take these?
Ah, sonny, you can fake 'em, shake 'em, or bake 'em for all I care. They're just a bunch of good-for-nothing keys is all.
You never know. They might be good for something.
I bet they unlocked something in the prehistoric era, you know, where there were locks.
Hot and dry. It's the desert.
Woody, look at this.
Why are there car tracks? Why am I asking questions anymore? He has gold fever. I think he has gold in his ears. Surprisingly, nothing is really clickable here.
Wowie zowie! A real mountain lion! A mountain lion can weigh up to 200 pounds!
Why do you just know that? Let's follow these tracks for a bit, I guess. I have no idea if this is helpful. Getting the feeling it's not.
It's an armadillo. You're kind of cute for such a funny-looking guy, aren't you, boy? An armadillo uses its long, sticky tongue to get insects to eat.
All aboard
a
for
whole
Hubcap Hill,
armadillo.
Tire Flat's very own
Fun fact,
ghost
armadillos have
town.
leprosy. I don't think that's a fun fact at all. I think that's a sad fact. All right, I'm here looking for things.
It's my calculator. Hey, little guy, could you throw that down to me, please? It's mine.
You're trusting a weasel.
Uh-oh. Which key should I use?
Maybe the... What kind of keys are these?
It worked! Excellent!
Like the
I've got
sockets
my
at least
calculator
made
back.
some sense.
Now all I have to do is get
Shout out to
Pep,
Keys
my
Defying Gravity.
lunchbox, and my history report. So Mr. Firebird can close the time portal.
Hang on. We're headed back to Tire Flat Station.
They're also single use. Yeah, I use one key and they're all broken. So unless we need a square brick, we never have to come back here. And now I can go here with the wonderful inventions of petroleum products.
This should help open that rusted gate.
Oh yeah, I need to get the gummy wheels. I forgot about that. Well, we may not need the gummy
1001
wheels.
Thank yous, Putt-Putt. Now
thing
we
is
will
there
be
are-
late for story time.
The game will randomize what's where and what you need, so that every time a kid plays it, it's not just the same thing. That's a troubadour run.
Hi, Woodward. Good to see you again, Putt-Putt. You're in for a regular treat, because Sir Pound-a-Lot, my friend over there, is the nicest blacksmith in the world, and that's the truth. It's my lunchbox!
Sir Blaze, that is extremely impolite. Give the little fellow his lunchbox, please.
It's his usual lies.
I am terribly sorry about my dragon. He's a bit out of sorts today. He hasn't had a morsel of dragon food to eat all day.
Do you think if I found him some dragon food, he'd trade
I know
it
I've
for
said
my
this before,
lunchbox?
but what is this accent? What is dragon fruit food?
I suppose you should interpret that as a yes.
Is dragon food
That's
a
the hay I
princess?
found.
May I help you?
My name's Putt-Putt, and I'm looking for some things.
Take all the time in the world. My shop is your shop. Oh, find what you're looking for.
Thanks! Woodward sure delivered a huge pile of firewood.
Oh, that Woodward. Such a helpful little fellow.
Oh boy, a magic tower. I bet everything's normal in here. Don't know what I expected.
Hello, I'm...
Do not tell me. Ah, yes, you must be from the future.
How did you know that?
You are not the only visitor I have encountered from another time. My name is Merlin.
Merlin the magician? Wow!
You have traveled from a time very far away, and like all travelers, you must be looking for something.
I sure am.
Well, my friend, I believe you will find everything you are looking for.
I hope you're right.
What is this terrifying contraption in front of you?
That's the hay I found.
Oh no, he has a joke book.
Welcome, ye stranger. What be your name?
My name's Putt-Putt.
And I am King Chariot. Thou hast arrived just in time to hear a reading from the Royal Joke Book.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Now which one shall I read first? What did the dirt say to the rain?
What, Father, what?
It said, "Please stop raining on me, or my name will be Mud." We shall begin as soon as I find an appropriate passage.
Nope, nope, nope.
Oh.
Nope, we're leaving. Nope. Never mind, 'tis a silly place.
Wow! This looks like some sort of game. Let's play with these balloons.
Why do we have balloons in the Middle
Maybe
Ages?
we could shoot those
But we don't
claws
have
away
oil.
at them. Just show me where to let go of each balloon. If you want to quit the game, just click on the arrow. Are you sure you want to?
Yep. You know, personally, I am proud of myself. I don't think I've used the walking out of the office joke since Chugi. Still have no idea what I'm supposed to find there.
Whoa! This must be the age of the dinosaurs. I wonder how I can move this thing so I can drive through. Wowie zowie! It's a real live Brachiosaurus!
Ms. Brachiosaurus, and who or what in the primordial ooze are you?
I'm Putt-Putt, and I've come from the future. I'm trying to drive across the road back there, but there's a strange something blocking it.
That strange something happens to be my tail, Putt-Putt.
Gee, if it wouldn't be much trouble, Ms. Brachiosaurus, would you mind moving it so I can get through?
Not at all, honey. Not at all.
I'd really appreciate it. Thanks!
I think she needs the gospel. I think she lives before the gospel.
Thanks a lot, Miss. Now I'm off to explore the age of the dinosaurs.
How you evangelize prehistoric civilizations, let alone dinosaurs? Round stone, honeycomb stone. Yeah, there's lots of stones.
Hello, I'm Putt-Putt. Do you need some help? Yes. But first, you gotta tell me, what in the heck is a putt-putt? I never laid eyes on anything quite like you before. I'm a card, and I'm visiting from the future. Whoa!
I mean,
I'm Will. Glad to meet you.
a lot of evangelization
Hey,
is talking about the
how'd
future,
you like
I
to help
guess.
me figure out how to move this basic pile of rocks? Then I can build me a bridge and go home. I'd be happy to help you, Will. All I have to do is figure out how to do it. Full speed ahead! Ugh. That was fantastic!
Oh, look,
Stupendous!
it's missing a circle.
You cars from the future sure know how to fix your basic bridge.
That's right, we're gonna put the square peg in.
Uh-oh, big time problem alert. Looks like we're gonna need one more rock to finish the job. Don't worry, I'm sure I can find one
Ignore
somewhere.
the meteor
Great!
stuff.
Looks like we need a rock shaped like your basic
Look,
circle.
everyone,
I'll
you
keep
have to
an
face
eye
your
out
own
for a
mortality.
round rock, then
You
you
know,
can cross your bridge.
Memento Mori and all that. Why not just try the triangle? I could, but this is Putt-Putt.
Hey, it's a rock in the shape of a circle.
Yep, better leave a rock that I found in, I don't know, the 1800s here. That'll not mess with the time stream at all. Throw the circular friend in the hole.
Will, guess what? I found a rock, and I think it will fit
Ah,
in the
Wheel,
hole
I
in
think
the
I found what
bridge.
will help us
well,
here.
What do you know? Excellent! Fantastic! Thanks a gazillion, Putt. Well, I'm homeward bound. Come visit any old time you like.
Okay, I'll just follow you.
Hello, Putt. Hello to you too, Will. Where are my manners? Can I interest you in some fabulous,
The wheel is
delicious,
bouncing.
nutritious
Yeah,
primordial
wait a minute.
soup? Made it myself. Sure, that would be great. Compliments of the house. Mmm, primordial soup tastes terrific. Thanks, Will.
That's what
don't
non-GMO food is supposed to taste like, Putt-Putt.
Oh, help! It's a vicious, strange something or other about to attack. I just know it.
No, it isn't. I'm Putt-Putt. I never hurt anyone, honest.
Promise?
Of course I promise.
Oh, gosh. I feel much better. Say, you want to play picture jumble with the rocks?
Sure, that sounds like fun.
Why did you give me an option?
So, which one's first?
Let's move that one.
You can believe random strangers.
Let's move that one. Let's move that one.
This seems a really inefficient way to play this game. I'm not convinced that that this Putt-Putt is totally realistic.
Let's move that one.
What are you talking about, Bray? Heard all of this totally happened. A sentient car absolutely went back and talked to dinosaurs and played a picture matching game with them.
Let's move that one.
there.
Let's move that one. All right, we made the picture. I sure had fun playing with those rocks. Thanks, T-Rex.
Yeah, you're the one moving them.
Hi, Mr. Bird.
Are you ready to play a little Follow the Volcano?
No, that sounds like a terrible idea. Let's do it.
Try to match this one.
Oh.
Ready, set, all right.
No, I'm good. I will not play Simon Says with volcanoes.
Hello? Mr. Triceratops? I don't think that Triceratops notices me at all. He's much too busy eating.
He's standing on my report.
That guy, my friend, is always busy eating. On a good day, he could go through a couple of bushes and nothing flat.
He likes it.
Bet your sweet little hubcaps he likes it. I'm telling you, the guy's a total herbivore.
How does that orange one know what
Here you go,
hubcap
boy.
is?
Great! Now I can get my history report.
Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
Got it. Now all I have to do is get Pep and my lunchbox, so Mr. Firebird can close the time portal.
Okay, well, we know where Pep is, or where the lunchbox is.
Look at that! It's an
I forgot about this part.
Apatosaurus.
An itchy and a horribly miserable Apatosaurus at the moment.
My name's Putt-Putt, and maybe I can help you.
What a positively inspired idea. You could just roll on over to my back and scratch away this terrible itch.
But then I'd have to drive over your head.
Not a problem, Putt-Putt. I'm tough. I can take it. Just, scratch that spot, please. Go a little to the left. A bit more to the left. Oh, now go down just a bit. Oh, yes.
Don't make it weird.
Go a little to the left. Ah. Now go down just a bit. Yes. Yes. Oh, now go a bit to the left. Oh, yes. Oh, that's it? Oh, now I can relax. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was happy to help. mind if I drive over your tail to the other side?
As far as I'm concerned, Putt-Putt, you could drive on me all day
I'm
and
concerned.
night. Be my guest.
Okay, I don't think Humongous Entertainment exists anymore. What did I drive? I mean, walk into? You know, at this point, it's best just not to ask, but it's good to see you, Rexter. Let's never talk about the prehistoric times ever again.
Whoa! This must be the future! I wonder what year it is.
It's the wild year of 2003!
Oh! Now, aren't you the cutest little guy on 4 wheels? What can I do to help you?
My name's Putt-Putt, and I'm visiting from the past. I was hoping I could have a look around.
First things first, you can call me Miss Electra. And second, you go ahead and make yourself comfy and stay just as long as you ever love and please.
Thanks, Miss Electra. I will.
For golly sakes!
Excuse me, Miss Electra. What kind of machine is that?
Why, it's a battery-making machine. You can help me make some if you like.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
Well, would you look at that? Okay, Putt-Putt, you can make me a battery with 9 volts.
This is exactly how that's done. Dude, someone isn't Catholic but has learned what venial and mortal sins are.
I still need more volts of
What
power
does that mean
so
for
I
them
can
if
have
they
a
learn
total
they
of
committed a
9.
moral sin? They obviously can't go to confession. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the whole hope would be to learn of how we experience God's mercy and
4 plus 5
confession.
equals 9 volts. That's it! 9 volts of power. I'm all done, Miss Electra.
And for the record, canon law does actually state that anyone who's baptized has the right to go to confession.
Thanks, Putt-Putt. For golly sakes!
Welcome to the Petorama, the make-it-yourself pet food smorgasbord. You may make any kind of custom pet food simply by creating the animal you wish to feed and then pressing the food button. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
She wasn't even baptized? Well, in that case, then that's an even simpler answer. Seek repentance through baptism. Baptism washes away all sins.
Your food is in process.
Galileo Cosmical Nuts. It's
Great.
making it for free.
Dragon food.
The future is clearly
I think I know
post-scarcity.
someone who will appreciate this.
Because really, ultimately, I guess, Britt, your question, it hinges on buying into a certain metaphysical view of and morality. So you can learn about it from sort of an objective standpoint, but if you don't buy into the whole metaphysics and ethics of it, you're going to go, well, okay, that's nice, but, you know, there's still other, you know, you might have your own worldview about seeking what goodness and repentance and healing and holisticness means vis-a-vis yourself and your own faith. I mean, other faith traditions exist and exist validly and have their own ways of approaching that same kind of question. So it's kind of one of those things of like, if you're outside the metaphysics, if you're outside of the system and you don't buy into the metaphysics, like, well, it's a bit of a non-starter for a conversation, I guess. 1984 by 4.
Excuse me, I'm Putt-Putt. I'm visiting from the past. I thought this was a library.
Remember her being in
Where's
religion
all
with
your
me,
books?
My,
after we
you
went,
are from the past,
her parents are
aren't
Muslim,
you? Nowadays,
offshoot,
all
so she
books
won't
can be
likely
found on our
baptized.
computer.
Things like that.
Usually,
Could
when
be
you
upset
find what
that
you're
she
looking
did
for,
certain things.
I can make a
She
copy
can't go
for
to
you.
confession to get that
But
mercy.
unfortunately, at the moment, we're out of paper. By the way,
But I would
my
argue
name's Darian.
within her
Darian,
own faith tradition,
the
there are probably ways that she
librarian.
can experience that
Glad
mercy.
to meet you, Darian.
You know, I do believe in the
How you
the
doing
Catholic
there,
Church.
Purple Buddy?
Shocker, as a priest. But I also know that God is bigger than we realize and does encounter all peoples in the world.
Welcome to the library.
Do these both lead to the same place? They do, okay.
Wow! This fun zone looks great.
Sup, Pep? So red, yellow, red. Red. One more. Hey, let's go.
We're together
I only guessed one
again.
wrong.
Now hop in and let's get going. Now all I have to do is get my lunchbox so Mr. Firebird can close the time portal.
Yeah, but there's an arcade machine. Wait a minute, this game existed on the Virtual Boy. Your heart broke for it. Yeah, I mean, in that moment, that would kind of be like, oh wait, huh? What do we do? Ah. Shoves Catholicism of God. Gently careful mentioned her that she could someday become Catholic. Her parents wouldn't allow it, yeah. But also, you know, Nostra Aetate does say, we do not reject anything that is true in other religions, and by that it means that there is a presence of God And all religions in some way are kind of trying to articulate the experience, sometimes without revelation. That makes it harder, but, you know, to say that every other faith tradition is without God, I'm not comfortable with that, because God is way bigger than we are, and God is speaking to the whole world. As kind of the point of the incarnation and the sending forth of the Spirit in many ways, is that God has entered into the fullness of human history in the world.
One ancient toasting device, circa 1989.
It's a stone bowl, an ancient food container.
Hey, I think I had soup out of that.
It's a newspaper, an ancient writing. It's an abacus, an ancient mathematics artifact.
So in some of the randomized ways, you have to, there's an artifact in there that's one of like your report or your lunchbox, and you have to trade it for something else. We actually seem to have gotten a really lucky set of things. Just and as well as an 11-year-old could, she found the experience of truth and wanted, but couldn't get it fully. Yeah, and it's you know, it's life is not always easy or quite the way we would want it. And you know, I'm not saying that to diminish her experience, but rather to say
Look what I
it's
have.
still in the midst of that God comes to us. You know, that's so much of the readings of Advent, is that in the midst of human life and history and messiness, it's into the middle of that Jesus
Oh
was
my
born.
goodness, he was
You know,
hungry.
I love that this upcoming Sunday, the gospel very intentionally is like during the reign of Tiberius and Pontius Pilate and so-and-so is Tetrarch and Herod the Tetrarch. You know,
Still
it's a very
work
messy world.
to be done.
My lunchbox. Hot diggity, this is great. It looks like I got everything I needed to get. Come on, Pep. Let's travel back
So,
through
you know,
time to Cardtown and tell Mr. Firebird.
Frustrating in the moment, but
Coming a
hopefully
long night.
in the fullness of her life, she continues that journey with God.
Guess
Knows
what?
her
I
relationship with him
did
more
it.
deeply.
I did it. I found all my things. And Pep, too.
Congratulations, Putt-Putt. I knew you would.
Now I can finally show you my new school supplies.
Excellent, Putt-Putt. But first, I must close the time portal for good.
We
We
came out
don't need any more
monetarily
disasters.
neutral on that trip.
Disasters? I don't know about that, Mr. Firebird. I guess it all depends on how you look at it. Between you and me, I thought time traveling was the best fun ever.
Well, I'm glad you had so much fun, Putt-Putt. But according to my calculations, you're going to be late for school unless you hurry.
Yipes, you're right, Mr. Firebird. I'll show you my report later. Here's my history report. Now let me tell you what I learned.
This teacher's gonna be like, Putt-Putt, none of this is historically accurate or supported by archaeological evidence, so please stop spreading these lies. On the outside, God surprises us. Amen to that. I met this thing called a horse. I think they're extinct now. Wait a minute. We met horseless carriages. Quite literally. What, you're not comfortable with cars bending at the chin like frogs over their desks?
Too noisy, the tuba too big to hold. The oboe was just plain eerie, and the harp too made of gold.
But yeah, we got really lucky there because the stone was in the same age we needed it. Basically, like, the only thing we really had to go back and forth for was the oil and the hay, and we got the hay before we even went to the prehistoric times, so... What kind of animal do you suppose they're keeping in their cage over here? Oh, it's a fish.
Can nothing compare with
Sam,
my beautiful
Rich.
No, nothing I've ever found. Whether I be on sea or land, strolling through country, dale, or town.
About time you took some notes.
The drums I found too noisy, the tuba too big to hold. The oboe was just plain eerie, and the harp too made of gold.
It just triggers Putt-Putt to go to the next one. Putt-Putt, created by Shelly Day. Okay, we know who to blame now. Do the drawers open yet? Well, the top one does. It was full of teeth. Well, now it's full of whoop cushion. Very concerned about everything that's going on here. These credits are much longer than the other credits. I mean, honestly, these were 97, really that late. These are great games for kids. I think they are super cute, and I do have a soft spot for them, like I said. They are kind of weird to revisit as adults, and I think that's part of what makes it so fun.
Do you want to play again?
Nope. So, like I said, next time, we're either going to do Freddy Fish or Pajama Sam. I don't remember which one. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But those will be fun. But yeah, I think that's just where we're going to end it. A little early, but that's to be expected. Better than having just one done and be like, now what? So yeah, so thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evans. Been good to be with y'all today. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Join us again on Tuesday. There will be no stream on Monday. I'll be flying back from LA. So, you know, can't really stream on complimentary Wi-Fi. I can't even stream a video myself. I can only stream audio when I'm listening. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so next Tuesday we'll be back to Victory at Hebron. Wednesday will be more midweek Minecraft as we continue on the marketplace, and then Thursday will be Putt-Putt or Pajama Sam. So, yeah, I think that's everything. So thank you to everyone who's liked, supported, checked out the YouTube, checked out the Discord, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend, and let's see who's live to raid into. I'll refund you that meat mess, Kit. It only shows up on the game screen. Gonna send you on over to Duke of Pizza. He's a fellow priest in the circle of the internet. He's doing some photo editing right now. He streams very rarely, so it's kind of rare to see him actually be able to raid into him. But he's a cool dude, so go give him some love. Raid call will be, are you sharing your pizza? Are you sharing your pizza? That'll be the raid call. So we'll head on over there. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.